Okay, I got three sample problems. So, again, what are we doing? We're solving systems of linear equations. Now, linear means line. If we had y equals x squared involved in there, that's a parabola, and that's a whole different thing that happens there. But we're not covering that today. Just got a pair of lines here, trying to find out where they intersect. Notice my x's are lined up, my y's are lined up, equals, and my constant. I'm starting off with the easiest one possible. This one is begging us to recognize the 2y and the negative 2y are opposite. So if we add those together, these would just cancel. So x plus x is 2x. 3 plus 4 is 7. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Not all of our answers are going to be nice and neat. Now you could convert this to 3.5, but once you get higher in math, you just deal with these fractions. All right. Are we done? No. Remember, there's two parts, the x and the y. So I need to plug this in either here or here. Doesn't matter. I'm going to plug it into the top one. So x, plug it in for that one, plus 2y equals 3. So I'm going to subtract 7 halves. Subtract 7 halves. Here comes where your basic math skills need to be solid. Those cancel. Bring that down. How am I going to go 3 minus 7 halves? Well, 3 is the same thing as 6 halves, common denominators. 6 halves minus 7 halves is negative 1 half. Now, I'm glad I actually have this situation because a lot of students would say, you know what, I'm going to divide by 2, and they'd get really confused here. So my recommendation is instead of dividing by 2, it's the same thing as multiplying by a half. Multiplying by a half. And then you can just recognize what to do. So this times this is just y. And then negative a half times positive a half is negative 1/4. So my answer would be 7 halves, comma, negative 1/4. Okay. This one, notice, just mixed up. This is our goal, x's, y's, constants. So I got my x's, y's equals constant on this top one, so I'm just going to slide that one over. This one here, I'm going to subtract 6x, and put that in the proper order. So negative 6x plus 5y equals 7. Now remember, I can look at my x column to eliminate or my y column to eliminate. So I'm going to concentrate on my x column and just say, hey, you know what I need? I need a positive 6x after multiplying this by something, which tells me what to multiply by. What times 2x gives me my 6x? That'd be a positive 3. And then I have to multiply everything by 3. So 6x plus 3y equals negative 3. Now I'm going to add these two together. The x's cancel. 5y and 3y is 8y. 7 and negative 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. Divide by 8, divide by 8. You can see I get 1/2 equals y. Now I'm going to choose to put it in the top one. Just seems a little easier to me. So 2x plus y, which is 1/2, equals negative 1. All right, well, I got to subtract 1/2 and subtract 1/2. These cancel. I call that my Kerchunk bar. Jumps under the Kerchunk bar. What's negative 1 and negative a half? Now, a lot of you would say, well, it's negative 1 1/2. It's not wrong. We just don't use mixed numbers. Some of you would say negative 1.5. Not wrong. We just get away from using a lot of decimals, of course, unless we're using decimals. So how are we going to do this? Well, negative 1 is the same thing as negative 2 over 2. So negative 2 over 2 plus negative 1 over 2 is negative 3/2. So here we have that same situation. Are we going to divide by 2? It's not wrong. It just gets a little confusing on this side. I'd recommend you multiply this side by a half, multiply that side by a half. X equals negative 3/4. So my answer for this one would be negative 3/4, comma, 1/2. All right, last one. As you can see, I've set this up so that you can go, I hope you're like, oh, by the way, substitution. Now, you don't have to. You could still use elimination, but just for review purposes, I'm going to use substitution. Y equals this stuff, y equals this stuff. So this is a different variation of substitution. That means 3x plus 1 has to equal 3x minus 2. Now if I do the math, by the way, there's not much substitution on your homework. I'm not sure why, but you need to be aware of it because it's sure beneficial to know that if a problem's set up to just use substitution, it's a lot faster than elimination in my opinion. I'm going to subtract 3x here, subtract 3x here, and these cancel. I'm going to drop that 1 down. These cancel. Something strange happened. My variables disappeared, and I got a false sentence. You know what that means? There is no solution. What does that mean? It means they're parallel lines. Now, if you were really thinking right from the beginning, you'd say, hey, this one right here, my y-intercept is up 1, and my slope is 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. This one, my y-intercept is negative 2, same slope, 1, 2, 3 over 1. And you could, my drawing's not good, but you could have said, hey, different y-intercepts, same slope. You know what? That means they're parallel, and you could have just seen that from the beginning. So some people are able to do that. Others just like to crunch out the numbers, but be on your guard and maybe save some time on like an ACT or SAT test. All right, guys, good luck on your homework assignment.